Every time anyone sees this car, they have a huge smile on their face.
Smaller than I remember.
I've loved weird cars my whole life. It's kind of a ludicrous idea. The world's smallest car. Sometimes it doesn't start very quickly, sometimes it does. This was my worst fear.
It's red, it's rare, it's really tiny. The smallest production car ever built. This mini marvel from the swinging 60s is the Peel P50.
The P50 came out of the Isle of Man, which is a small island between Ireland and England. Basically, the concept was a little car that you could use in the city. I've loved weird cars my whole life. It's kind of a ludicrous idea in the fact they only made 49 of them. There's a gentleman in Vancouver, British Columbia, that wanted to import them. He brought in, I've heard, numbers 3 to 6, which is a huge number of the overall production. This is one of those cars because it had some special features for the Canadian market, which makes it really special, I think.
At just 1 metre high and less than a metre wide, this really is a truly minute machine. The P50 is powered by a DKW 49cc engine and has a top speed of 37 miles per hour and 4.2 horsepower.
It's a one-seater, one headlight. I also love how it's 3 wheels. So the back wheel is the one that is driving it with a chain from a little moped engine. It's got this cool suicide door. And you have to be kind of smart to get in. So you have to bend like this. There you go. Easy as that. Here's the gear shifter, this orange little contraption. It's 3 speeds, there's no reverse because you have to get out of the car and go around to the reversing handle, pick up the car and turn it around and then get back in.
This may be a small car, but it has a big history.
There was a Russian freighter that came into the port of Vancouver. They used it to drive around their huge freighter on the deck. But then the refrigerator broke, so when they came back, they traded this car in on a refrigerator. It was in this ship supply store sitting there for $100. This gentleman named Windy bought it and brought it home for his son Don 50 years ago. And that's who I bought it from, that family.
While it was bought for a song half a century ago, if you're lucky enough to find one up for grabs now, expect to pay big bucks. A P50 was sold at auction in 2016 for $176,000.
Peel actually made 2 models. This was their first one. And then they built another one that looks like a little flying saucer, and that's called a Trident. And that's what I was actually after. I was just playing online, looking around, and as I was searching, I found this one. It was in Kelowna, British Columbia, 5-6 hours away.
When it came to restoring this vehicle, Greg had his work cut out.
It was very complete, but I needed a number of things. The hardest part of restoring the car was just finding the parts and waiting months and months and months to get them from England. Once in its life, it had been chopped into a convertible. Luckily, the roof had been kept and put back on, but there was lots of little pieces that had gone missing over that time. We got a new door and had that fitted. I've never really restored a car from the ground up, so this was a great opportunity for me to do that.
And now, having not seen the car since its restoration, the previous owners have come to check out Greg's handiwork.
Where did you get the mirror?
It makes me want to cry. It's so adorable.
It looks smaller than I remember.
Same seat.
Same seat.
You just reupholstered
Yeah,
it?
reupholstered, yeah.
Because they used to tell us our seat was wrong.
I found another BC car,
You
and it
did?
has that seat.
Really?
Yep, I was
So we
like,
didn't have
yes!
the real one.
Yes,
Where did you find another BC car?
Eastern Washington. I'm a sleuth.
Ah, totally.
I love it. I'm a car detective.
I learned to drive on this
At 6.5.
at 6.5, way before my license came out.
Straightened out all the wheels,
My husband was on his way home from work one day, and he had to pass this secondhand store, and it was sitting on a shelf in the window. And he screeched to a halt and ran in and said, "I want that." It was payday that day.
So no groceries, but came home with a car.
Yes, no groceries but a car.
I don't think you were that happy that day.
No, I was going to kick him right from here to eternity.
The chrome on the inside of the engine where it breathes.
I know, and you can't see it.
It was cut like this.
He kept flipping it all the time.
Couldn't get
He
out.
couldn't get out, so he took the top off.
Every time it landed on the door.
Oh, that's the windshield washer.
That is the windshield washer.
And you've got it in the ashtray.
That is the holder for it.
It wasn't the ashtray.
It wasn't the ashtray. I thought it was the ashtray too.
Oh, you squeezed the bottle and it spits. No way. I did drive it to school one time.
Yes.
You drove it to school?
Yeah, it was grade 4. And at recess, I got in the car and drove out into the soccer field. I remember having 11 children on the car, hanging on the outside, on the front, and maybe that's what happened to the rear view mirror. The teachers got wind of what was going on. I finally did get slowed down, and then I got a couple of days off school for free. And I think Dad had to come and get me.
Looks better than it ever has in its life, I'm sure. Oh, it's wonderful. Gives you such a good feeling.
You know, when you look back as a child, things always have a rosy look. I'm looking at this thinking, damn, that was a pretty good childhood.
Every time anyone sees this car, they have a huge smile on their face. And that's really fun to be around.